Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're gonna do a little speed build. This house is inspired a lot by houses that I've seen in Georgetown and the general DC area. There are also some inspiration coming in from Boston and a little bit New York, but not really. So yeah, I just built like this cute little narrow townhome. Right now we're just working on the exterior, doing a little bit of the garden and some very minor landscaping. After I get my shell done, sometimes I'll go right into landscaping, sometimes I'll, keep going on like exploring more ways to work on the exterior. So here I am going into the windows and the doors and getting the roof and, the overall structure of the building looking how I want it to look. So now we're inside and I'm putting up walls and making my rough floor plan idea for the first floor. I normally start with kitchens. Sometimes I do it's weird, I don't know how to explain it. I really jump around a lot. I might start on a kitchen and then do a living room, or I might go to a bedroom or a bathroom. But for the most part, I start with a kitchen and I basically build the house around the kitchen. I know a lot of people say that the kitchen is the heart to your home. So maybe that's why I do that, I don't know. So yeah, I do the kitchen and then everything else sort of just falls in place around it. You can see here that I'm working on this little transition space between the kitchen and the living room. I added in, a small dining table, like a breakfast nook, since the kitchen is pretty small as it's elevated on its own level. So there's no table in the kitchen, it's below the platform. So I just added a little area down there so that there's not this big empty hallway between the kitchen and the formal dining room when you enter the house. So again, I'm jumping around, doing more landscaping, doing more in the kitchen, doing more in the dining room. Yeah, it really just depends on what I find in Build By as I'm going through. Sometimes something catches your eye and you're like, I want this in the house. So you might put it aside, or you'll just put it where you want it while you're looking at it. So that's how I build a lot of my houses. I just scroll through the categories of what I want, and when I find something that I want in the house, I'll put it where I want it, or sometimes I will just put it outside or in an empty room until I'm ready to put it where it needs to go. So here I'm briefly doing the floor plan for the second story. I didn't know how many bedrooms I wanted to have in this house, but I definitely wanted the second level to be bedrooms and the third level to be more bedrooms, or a master suite with the rooftop bonus room being part of the master suite. So I just quickly got the floor plan down because I was getting a little not tired of the first floor, but I was kind of running out of ideas. You can pretty much see that it's done. There's clearly a dining room, a kitchen. There's somewhat of a living room now that I'm just adding in. But you're gonna see a lot that I go back and forth between the first floor and, the bedrooms that I do later on. I like my builds to be really detailed. So yeah, I just go back and forth a lot until it's perfect. Here I am just fumbling with the couch options. I really did like that couch that I used at first, but I don't know, I kind of like this one a little bit better. You might notice that I've used this a lot in my builds recently. It's becoming one of my favorite couches. Shout out to Harry, because I literally love all of her stuff, and Felix, them together. Every time there's a new update, my game just completely breaks. All of my CC becomes outdated and I have to like go on a hunt to find updated stuff. And that's really exhausting, especially since I don't really play the game that often. I literally just pick it up when I get inspired to build something, or like I want to start a new family or something. So it's so annoying that every time I want to play the game, I'm having to repeat this process of like literally finding everything all over again. So I recently decided that I'm only going to use like 3 or 4 different CC creators for all of my, like, essentially for all of my builds. I'm only using Harry, Felix, and like a few of like my favorites, but for the most part, it's just like 3 or 4 people. And for cast, I haven't really decided like who I really like to, you know, keep. So my cast folder is still pretty big. It's still my biggest folder, but yeah, so a lot of my builds are gonna have like the same, you know, CC used, because I'm only using 3 or 4 different creators now instead of just downloading everything that I like, because it's really a hassle to stay on top of, you know, outdated CC and to literally fix my game every time there's a patch update. So here we are working on the master suite, aka the 3rd level. I didn't really know what to do with this floor, which is why it just ended up becoming like the master suite, because I didn't want to have, like, I did at first want to have more bedrooms, but the floor plan just wasn't working out. I cut all of that out because I just kept going back and forth trying different floor plans, and I hated all of them. So I ended up having, well, you'll see it later, but we have a bathroom and like a media room kind of, and then obviously the bedroom and the closet and the access to the bonus room / roof access, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. So yeah, I'm doing the guest bedrooms here, and I say guest bedrooms because the family that I created for this house is actually just a couple with no children. So, you know, just 2 people living together in like this huge house, and I guess they're like rich or, you know, whatever. I haven't really thought about their backstory, but they definitely have like this defined look. They're very like vintagey, and like, I don't know how to explain it. You'll see them later. But I imagine that like they don't have kids, but they literally have like a full, you know, furnished family home, because they both, like, even though they don't have kids, they don't necessarily want their own, but they both have nieces and nephews, and they come from like big families. So they have like this big family home because they often, like, you know, have their nieces and nephews come to stay over with them, and it's basically like their nieces and nephews' bedrooms for like when they come over to visit or whatever. So I thought that was really cute. I know like most people don't really have that sort of like, you know, family, I was gonna say family setup, but that doesn't make sense. But, you know, most people don't really have whole bedrooms dedicated to like their family members staying over. So I thought that was a fun idea to explore, and just to make, you know, gameplay a little more interesting. Especially since I only built those 2 Sims. They don't actually have families, so now I actually have to go back into cast and like create their family members to, you know, flesh out that story, which is something I'm really looking forward to. So yeah, they basically just own this, you know, massive, expensive house furnished with all these bedrooms, and, you know, it's like, it's just them 2. Maybe in the future they'll have kids, but that wasn't like my intention when I created them. So yeah, I didn't want the house to be empty except for the master suite. So I built, you know, bedrooms for their family to stay over with them, which is like so cute. Like, imagine. The amount of times that I changed the color of that bed. I guess this house could also be used as a rental property if they chose not to live here, or maybe they did live here but they just rented out the second floor to a small family. That could be really cool for gameplay. Maybe I'll do that instead, because having to go back and literally create a family for these two people sounds like a lot of work. And I don't want to like fall behind on other video ideas that I had. So maybe that could be something if I make like another family, or maybe I do make them a family, but instead of having their family like live in a different household, they all live together, but like they're the ones who own the house, but they have, I don't know, maybe one of their siblings is living with them and, you know, is raising their kids there because like the schools are really good or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, so there's not really much else for me to explicitly say about this build. I don't want to keep rambling. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. You're just going to watch the rest of the time lapse here. Definitely be sure to comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoy this type of content. Definitely, you know, look out for the next couple of videos that are coming out, because I have been working so hard to, you know, get new videos for you guys since I've been so inactive over the last couple of months. So I have a lot of stuff that's queued up and ready to go. So definitely check back soon so you don't miss the new stuff that's coming. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!